Hi and welcome back to my channel. This week I thought I would try out a week in my life video to give myself a schedule to film stuff and maybe have a video that is manageable in length, because currently I always have a problem that my videos are so large and long that I don't have the capacity in the laptop to export the video without deleting stuff. So I think that is a sign of something, maybe. It is Monday, it is 28th of July, and it is a beginning of the first week of work after a week off. It is evening and it's a heat wave. It has been heat wave for I think pretty much at least 2 weeks. I'm melting down completely. Today it has been raining and thundering, but usually the temperature drops when it starts raining and thundering. That's not happening. It's still like 30 degrees tomorrow. Working today was a struggle because we don't have air conditioning in our flat. I don't really know any place where I can go to work where there is air conditioning, so we just have to deal with it. I'm not always making wise decisions during heat waves. Like the first week of heat wave, I decided to make sourdough bread. Probably not the wisest decision. And I'm currently have a cheesecake in oven, but I have to good reasons. It's raining and tomorrow is my flatmate's birthday, so I wanted to make a cheesecake. But I thought I would start this vlog while the cheesecake is in the oven and take a break from cleaning the kitchen. I am feeling very tired today, probably because of the heat. I had like a really good productive work day, which was a relief because I was a little bit nervous to go back to work. I'm currently writing my first article, and this week I made the decisions that during the mornings I am to write for 2 hours, because I write the best when I have a certain amount of limit to write. Not like during this work day I will write, but I have a section from my calendar marked out. This time I will use writing, and for me morning and the time before lunch break is the best time for me to write. And today I did manage to write, which made me really happy. And then in the afternoon I did some reading. I read an article and then I started a chunk of a book, which is Sainthood in the Later Middle Ages by Andrew Watches. This is an English translation translated by Jean Birel into English, and I don't know if I'm going to read entirety of this current, like right now, because it's a chunk of a book. But Andrew Watches is referenced in many articles, in many books, so I need to read books by him. And I actually eyed this in Rome, and I was really happy that I could find this from a library where I work. That was a work day. Then I was supposed to go to a book club meeting, but because I was just so tired after work and it was thundering and I didn't want to get wet, so I just went to a store, got some stuff for the cheesecake, baked the cheesecake, with some YouTube videos, and yeah, I'm now just going to chill. I had a really nice week off. I spent both of the weekends away, so I started my holiday going to countryside with my church community, and that was really nice, just spending time together, working on some stuff, reading Bible together, praying. It was really nice. And then on Monday we went to IKEA with my flatmates. It's kind of a thing to do during summer. We started our like flatmate journey together, going to IKEA, and we didn't go there last summer, but this summer we went to. It was a long trip. I didn't get anything for my room, but we got quite many stuff for our bathrooms, because our bathrooms are in original condition and we are trying to make them look prettier. But otherwise, just kitchen stuff, and then stuff for my flatmate's room. And then I just spent a lot of time reading, resting, swimming, because it's just so hot, sleeping, reading, spending time with friends. And then during the weekend we went away again with a couple of my friends. We went to a cottage of my friend, and I spent the entirety of the weekend my phone on flight mode, and it was incredible. Like, I highly recommend that if you want to do something to just de-stress and spend time focused on people around you, but also to like keep yourself focused on God. So we just spent like together time reading Bible, praying together, also praying alone, swimming, going to sauna, spending a lot of nice time together. It was a really good ending for my holiday. And I also did manage to go to fabric store, because as a birthday present, I got quite a big amount of money from my friends to buy some stuff for making clothes. And I got 2 really nice fabrics, and I actually am waiting that this week I will manage to probably make something or start. So I got this really nice fabric. It's green for a dress, a ruffle dress, like shirt ruffle dress. And then I got like a really basic linen for skirt. So I'm really excited about these. And then we also got fabric for a curtain for our kitchen. This was on sale and it was a really good find. So yeah, I'm just excited for this week. Like I said, tomorrow is my flatmate's birthday. We have promised her that we are going to watch the third Lord of the Rings extended version. We watched the first 2 last summer. Didn't manage to finish the trilogy. So we are going to watch that tomorrow after I finish work, and then probably a lot of swimming because it will be hot. I am baking the cake. I'm going to be checking up on the cake, and then I'm going to do a mini reading update. So I'm currently in a situation where I'm reading a bit too many books. I'm just not even going to talk about any audiobooks because I'm not currently actively going through any audiobook. I have been listening to Pride and Prejudice for ages, but I'm not considering that a very active read. I did finish The Body Keeps Score, which I had been listening to for ages. It was really good, really necessary. I learned a lot. But yeah, I'm just going to focus on the physical books I'm reading. Some of them I'm not reading as actively, so I'm just going to go quickly through some of these. So I have been reading a collection of poems by Anna Akhmatova ever since my birthday in April. So this isn't in no way like a really active read. This is the complete poems of Anna Akhmatova. I'm around maybe halfway through, and sometimes I pick this up and read like a good chunk of it, and then I leave it unread for like a week or so. I'm really enjoying this process of slow reading, not feeling too much of a hurry to get through this, because I love Anna Akhmatova's poetry. This is a Finnish translation of her complete poetry, and this was a birthday gift for myself. And then another book that I'm not so actively reading is Life in Letters by Vincent van Gogh. This isn't his complete letters, but this has a really good selection of his letters combined with a biographical background. I like to read these letters sometimes in bed if I don't feel like reading a really large chunk of things. Like sometimes I feel like I'm reading a lot or a longer period of time. Usually by the time I'm in bed, I'm just so tired. So I have been just reading these letters. I love Vincent van Gogh and I love learning about him through these letters, and also learning about him through his relationship with his brother, but also about other relationships that he had, and he's a really complex person. I started this when I went to college this weekend, Out of Africa by Karen Blixen. This was actually a book that I bought myself for a holiday, my week off, because I had that kind of voucher when you buy enough books that you get a free one. And I decided to get Out of Africa. I was actually tempted to get this in Rome, and I just love these Penguin Modern Classics editions. I did get one from Rome, like in this selection. I'm like 100 pages into Out of Africa. I have been really enjoying this. I recently read autobiographical work of a Finnish writer, and she talks about Karen Blixen a bit, and she in the book she actually visited the place that Karen Blixen was living. And from that biography I get the sense that Karen Blixen was quite a complex person, not necessarily a woman meant to be really idolized, and I can really see that the treatment of her, of the native people, but I also, as an historian, it's easier to look into her perspective and understand it from the context. Sometimes being a historian helps with that, because I read a lot about from the point of view of people that I don't agree with, whose thinking is far from modern, but when you look at the time they lived, you understand them better. So yeah, I'm 100 pages into this, and I would say I'm most actively reading this, and I'm hoping to finish this week, and then I'm reading a couple of spiritual books. As always, I am reading The Divine Conspiracy by Dallas Willard. This I haven't actually picked up in ages, and I probably should. Because I have so many spiritual books I want to be reading, so I better get continued with this. I actually read The Divine Conspiracy years and years ago when I was trying to find my fate, and I was really interested of going back to this, and I also listened to it as audiobook during that time. I did get The Divine Conspiracy for my Kindle when I went to Rome, but I wanted to have a physical copy, and what I have read around for 140 pages. I really enjoyed this. And then another reread, I'm reading Dave Patty's Father God, Daring to Draw Near. I am processing some things from my past and thinking about forgiveness. And I was listening to one podcast and they talked about Dave Patty. I absolutely love Dave Patty. He has a really good teaching collection called Burden to Blessing that speaks about Psalms. That video series helped me a lot last year. In this, Dave Patty basically talks about how God is father, but how our earthly fathers treated us, how that relationship can affect the way you perceive God, because God is our perfect father, and often enough our earthly fathers can't be as perfect. And yeah, Dave Patty talks about how to heal those father wounds and hurts that we have, to have a deeper understanding and deeper relationship with God. I read this probably like 2 years ago, and I'm going back to this. So that was a reading update. I realized I have again babbled quite a bit. So I'm going to just go to clean the kitchen, probably go to shower and chill, and hope that my cheesecake will work out the best. I made blueberry cheesecake. So it is Wednesday and it is a lunch break, so it's currently like 12:15. I'm fasting today, so I had some time to paint my nails. I still am always taking a lunch break, even though during the days I'm fasting, because you could think that it would be like useful to use that time to do work when you're not eating, but that's not the way to do it. I have been working this morning. The schedule that I made for myself to write every morning has worked wonders. Yesterday I managed to write 1 hour and 30 minutes. Today almost 2 hours. I'm starting to get back into writing and it feels good. Currently I have a little bit of a struggle to decide what my article is mainly about, because I have 2 themes that are overlapping, but I can't focus on both of those. So I need to make some choices. I have been writing in the mornings and then having my lunch break and reading and researching on afternoons. Yesterday we watched Return of the King extended edition, and it was so hot, like incredibly hot, but we did watch it and it was fun. I kind of fell asleep in the beginning of the film because I was so tired after the working day, but it was a nice way to celebrate my friend's birthday. I also made the cake and it turned really nice. But in the evenings I have been reading quite a bit of Karen Blixen Out of Africa. I think like halfway through, and I'm hoping that I will finish this week, because I kind of want to start a fiction book, but I also don't want to start any new books, so I'm giving myself a challenge to finish this before starting a new book. I am quite surprised how like non-linear this is. It's just Karen writing about her life in different themes instead of like chronological. I'm a little bit curious about her letters, because I know she wrote a lot of letters, so I might try to find if I can find any letter collection by her, because I'm really interested of her persona. This is a really curious one. I have started to spend a lot of time in the balcony, especially during lunch breaks. I just try to get here and eat my lunch and look at the beautiful flowers. That one is not thriving. Our balcony is really hot, but luckily I have found a selection of flowers that are working. Some of those died when we were away for a weekend. I just love our balcony. Ophelia also loves it, and it's a good way to get some fresh air, because it's still really hot. But now I think I'm going to go back to do some work. I also have some like admin stuff that I have keeping pushing away. Then after work, my friend who I'm fasting with is going to come over. We're going to probably go for a swim and pray together and then we are going to break the fast, and then yeah, I might try to start doing some of the sewing stuff, maybe fixing up the patterns. I'm currently washing fabrics, so they might not be dry enough to actually start sewing, but I also need to start making the patterns. You have no peace. Happy Friday and good morning. I decided to sleep a little bit longer, and it made wonders, because honestly this week I just have been so tired, and I don't even understand why, because I have been sleeping quite well, but I think it's just the heat. It will be again like 29 Celsius degrees today, but luckily it's Friday and I don't need to spend the entirety of the day in the apartment. Yesterday I actually did go to air-conditioned cafe, so we don't have air condition in our flat. Yesterday I didn't probably chat to you at any point. I went to have my hair cut. It looks really nice. It feels odd because I always ask them to when they ask how I like to them to make my hair. I always ask them to blow it out straight and make curls with the flat iron. It always looks so sophisticated. I kind of want to learn to do that at some point. But yeah, I should have taken some pictures or clips of my hair yesterday because it looked really pretty. It's also, I really like it. The hairdresser, I went to a new one. I'm always nervous because I have had some bad experiences with hairdressers that don't know how to cut curly hair, especially because sometimes my hair doesn't look as curly. But I always like to ask them to cut my hair in layers, so that when I wear it curly, it lifts off the curls. And also I have layers on my bangs, which I really like, because my bangs, they just don't stay in order. So I like how movable they are. I also at some point want to dye my hair again, but the summer, the heat, the swimming, it just doesn't make any sense to dye it now. But I'm really happy with the result. Yesterday I worked some time in the apartment, so both of my flatmates are away, so I have the entirety of the place for myself for the rest of the week. And I'm really excited. I worked a bit, then I went to cafe and again worked a bit. Read majority of one article, had a really incredible ice latte, which was pricey, but thinking about being able to be in an air-conditioned cafe for over 2 hours, it was worth of that €6. And then after that I went to hairdresser, then I went to grocery shopping, I came back, and then I actually started making skirts. So I started with the easier one. I think I got quite a good chunk of it done. I'm making with an online pattern, and I don't have as much fabric as the girl is using in her tutorial. I made pockets, and it's basically almost ready. I need to do the waistband. The waistband will have some elastic bands and, as I said, ruffles. But yeah, I haven't sewed a lot on my sewing machine, so a lot of the time went to relearning some stuff. I got it secondhand, it's quite old, and I just needed to learn to do some stuff properly. And then I did make a couple of silly mistakes with the pockets, but in the end they turn out to be quite nice ones. I'm hoping I might have some time today to sew. I have a dream of having like entirety of Sunday for just sewing, but I'm going to make myself an iced coffee. That also tells you how tired I have been this week, that I need an iced coffee to start out my day. But I have been really loving iced coffee. I have become a bit of an addict with caffeine because I have had such some bad headaches, and only thing that helps with my headaches is a combination of caffeine and ibuprofen. I better start working, and then in the evening I think we are going to have go to eat somewhere with a couple of my friends and spend some nice time together, wind down after a week. Yeah, it sounds good. So I went to grocery store and I got some like necessary stuff for tomorrow's meal. So I'm making oven gnocchi, like meatloaf. So I got some minced meat, some gnocchi, cheese for that, also pesto, and then also goes in some tomato paste and some spices, some sort of milk product, but those I did have already in the fridge. And then I got some basic stuff for like Grecian yogurt for my breakfast, some eggs, and then bread because I'm out of bread also. Yesterday I got quite a bit of rhubarb from my friend who visited her yesterday, and I need to figure out how to make these last because I put quite a bit, like 1 kilogram already in the freezer, but I really want to make probably some juice and something, so I need to Google or basically ask ChatGPT how to preserve these as long as I can. I'm trying to find like the best angle to show you the final product because I have been sewing the whole day. It has been a really good Sunday. So I sew majority of this skirt today. So you can probably see the length. So it's a little over my knees. It has pockets. It's like nicely ruffled. It was really easy to make. I made some mistakes, but in the end, I'm really pleased with this. It has 3 elastic pants in the waistline, which feels extremely comfortable. I followed free YouTube tutorial. You don't need to buy pattern. So I'm going to link down below the tutorial I followed. Like I said, at some point I used a little bit less fabric in this. Also, I didn't make a lining for this skirt because I wanted it to be like a nice and flowy one. I'm really pleased how it turned out to be. Thought I would do like a final update. I didn't vlog yesterday at all, but I thought I would just tell you what I did. So I had quite like a really nice day yesterday. My friend promised for my birthday gift. My birthday was in April, but he promised that he will take me to a medieval church. 1.5 hour drive here to Lapland, and it is a place that I have wanted to visit for ages. The church is only open during summer because it's so old that there isn't any like services or anything there. But what's special about this church is that there is a mummified person in the church. Yeah, and I think it's like basically the oldest church like in the northern Finland. So I have wanted to go there for ages. My friend promised that at some point during summer we will take a trip there, and it was really nice. One of our like mutual friends, she and her husband live quite near of the church currently. So we went there, spent some time there, and then we drove back. We went swimming. I have absolutely loved swimming this summer. It's a game changer in heatwave. I think the heatwave is, I think it's starting to go away. It's still pretty hot. It actually rained quite a bit last night, and it was a little bit almost chilly when I woke up in the morning. That was Saturday. I didn't spend a lot of time at home, so today I have just had a rest day at home. I have been alone, and sometimes I just need those kind of days for my soul. In the morning, I did finish Out of Africa by Karen Blixen. I didn't think that this would be like some sort of like a short story collection. I was really surprised how non-linear this was, because I was expecting a biography, like a memoir of Karen Blixen's time in Africa, going in chronological order, talking about her reasons to go to Africa. But this was just kind of like a short story collection. It took some time getting used to this book, and unfortunately the format was also the reason why I didn't love this as much as I hoped I would. There was just some really beautiful parts, especially like the end when Karen realizes that she can't stay in Africa anymore because her farm is going to bankrupt, and then a lot of her life dies, and it's just really heartbreaking, the description of that and her going through her grief. So yeah, it was an interesting read, but nothing that I really expected it to be. So I read that, and then I did my like usual morning routine, reading my Bible, journaling, ate my breakfast. I just didn't want to get out of bed immediately, so I stayed there reading for an hour. And then I started sewing the skirt, and it took quite a bit. So during that time, I actually also finished listening to Pride and Prejudice, that I have been listening to for a couple of months. And then I knew I needed to go to buy some stuff from the grocery store. So I went there. I also went swimming, and I started a new book. I started The Petra by Alessandro Manzoni. This is, I think, Italian classic, and this was first published in 1827. I remember that I have started this couple of summers ago, and I ended up DNFing it, but I knew that I wanted to go back to this. So usually during summer I want to read at least one like big classic, and I feel now is the time. So I started this on the beach. I read 40 pages. It's really plot-paced, which is good, and I'm really excited to continue this. It's around 8 o'clock, so I'm going to do a little bit of cleaning in the kitchen, unload the dishwasher, load it again, do some getting ready for new week stuff, and then hopefully getting a good night of sleep, and then repeat a work week. But I hope you enjoyed following me around this week. And yeah, it was nice chatting to you about everything. I hope you are doing well, and happy reading.